Just to go back to what you said earlier on, sometimes people can get a bit down if they create a social media post and it only reached a few hundred people. Imagine if someone said to you, there's 250 people in a room there, would you like to go and speak to them? Of course you'd be like, oh my God, yeah, thanks so much. Your social media posts actually don't need to go viral. They just need to reach the right people consistently. Welcome to the Social Media Takeaway. I'm your host, Louise McDonnell, and this is the show for business people that want to know how to use social media more effectively to drive sales and leads for their business. If you enjoy the show, please make sure you subscribe. And if you know any friends or business colleagues who may benefit from this episode, please make sure that you share it with them. So today I am absolutely delighted to be joined by Lorna Lyons. And Lorna has a master's in positive psychology. She's an ex-teacher by profession and has successfully launched 2 online businesses in the space of 2 years. She's the founder of themumboss.com, and her other business then is Bump and Beyond Wellness. You're very welcome to the show, Lorna.
Thank you so much, Louise. I'm so thrilled to be here.
I'm totally intrigued by positive psychology. How does that relate to social media?
How does positive psychology relate to social media? For me, it's actually a huge part of what I teach my mentees about in terms of how they grow their businesses, because I've got a love-hate relationship with social media in the sense that I love it in the sense that it has provided me with opportunities that I wouldn't have been able to get anywhere else. Been at this free platform that I've been able to access people all over the world, which is just phenomenal. It's still pinching myself that that's a reality. But I've got a hate relationship in the sense of how it impacts my mental well-being, how sometimes I can get emotionally connected to the posts that I create and whether people like them or don't like them more often. If you put your heart and soul into something and then people don't like it or don't engage with it, how that can leave you feeling afterwards. And so the positive psychology side of things, what that's really done for me is to be able to equip me to create huge boundaries around my business and my personal life, and to be able to separate the two in a way that serves me in growing my business and allows me to switch off from it and put the phone down and put it away, because I know truly what my core values are. And that's what positive psychology is all about.
You were saying the importance of aligning audience growth over vanity metrics, such as going viral, which is something, if anyone has ever listened to me, something I talk about all the time. Like, the viral posts mean nothing, but aligning genuine audience growth. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
This really came from talking from a heart-centered place, talking from a place again of knowing what my core values and beliefs were and connecting with people over something that was important to me, rather than creating content because I thought it might go viral, seeing a funny reel out there and just recreating it for the sake of it. And I've went down the track of just creating content that was specifically focused towards my niche, who it is that I wanted to help and how it is that I wanted to help them. So it really just meant that everyone who clicked follow on my page were people who wanted to typically buy from me at the end of the day. And so through the growth of both of my different businesses, even by the time I had 1,000 followers on there, I had a substantial financial income from the back of that. And over the last couple of years, I've worked with quite a lot of people who have tens of thousands of followers. Like, I'm talking about 40,000 followers, 50,000 followers, most recently 120,000 followers. And she didn't have any income off the back of it. So I've really just seen massively how it really doesn't matter the size of your audience. I'm sitting there with 3,000 followers. It's more than enough. Imagine trying to fill your house with that number of people. It's more than enough to be able to create a financially profitable business, rather than creating content to be liked and engaged with and go viral, but have no money in your bank account because of it.
Yeah, you totally speak in my language. That happens all the time. I'm always saying that this is who I help in my coaching academy. It's businesses with relatively small followings that from there can still, as you said, generate revenue. On the flip side, as you just said, you can have people with 50, 100, whatever, 1,000 followers. They're not leading anyone towards an offer. They're not actually, sometimes when you speak to people, the first question I ask them is, what are you selling? And people, if you can't answer that straight away, if you're not clear what it is you're selling, then you're just going to waste your time on social media. So that's actually, such an important point.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that, Louise. And I think even when you're starting out, it can be really beneficial just to start with one product, like the power of one. Rather than having, I think we can all sit down and have amazing creative ideas and come up with all the different things that we can make, all the different offers that we can provide out there. But like you say, it can then become confusing. And if it's confusing for us in our own heads to be able to tell people what it is we can do, I can only imagine what it is for anyone who's jumping onto our account trying to figure out how it is that we can support them.
And just to go back to what you said earlier on, sometimes people can get a bit sit down, if they create a social media post and it only reached a few hundred people. Imagine if someone said to you, there's 250 people in a room there, would you like to go and speak to them? Of course you'd be like, oh my God, yeah, thanks so much. Your social media posts actually don't need to go viral. They just need to reach the right people consistently.
Consistently having the same message that you just repeat over and over again. There's such a personal growth journey in this, Louise. I'm sure you'll agree, like that resilience building for being able to throw the post out there and feel like you're talking to the wall and feel like nobody is listening, and then to be expected to do it all again tomorrow and the next day and the next day. There's nothing easy about it.
It is. And actually, just to go back to on about going viral, like I always say to people as well, think of something that popped up in your news feed yesterday, that from somebody that's gone viral yesterday, and they're like going, oh my God, I've reached a few million people, and it came into your news feed, it was in your life for a few seconds, and then you moved on to the next thing. If you never hear anything about that business or that brand ever again, like it's not even on your radar. So going viral is, I'm not saying who wouldn't want to have a post that goes viral, fantastic, but it's not the be all and end all. And I think when the media talk about social media, like the mainstream media, they drive me demented, because they bring people on who have had, oh, I have 5 million followers now, or I had a post that was seen by 20 million people, and they're only interested in the big numbers. And I think that is very damaging then to smaller brands whose role is not to be on social media to go viral, whose role is to run their business and use social media in the most efficient time possible. And then they have these unreal expectations. So I suppose the message from this is, don't expect to go viral, because you don't need to. And if you create a post and it like bombs, it does not perform, you know what? Maybe put it out in a few weeks' time at a different time and at a different day, and maybe try a different tactic, and you might find that the same post performs perfectly.
It's so true. And I don't think enough attention is actually given to the nurturing side of social media. If you think about the marketing funnel, put the marketing funnel out there, and awareness is at the top of the funnel, and nurturing is in the middle of the funnel, and selling is at the bottom of the funnel. Like everything that you're talking about there is all about growth. Get awareness, get visibility of my business. But actually, the kind of business that I love to build and the kind of businesses that I love to support my mentees to build are ones that are much more focused on retention. It's like you bring the people in and then you provide them with such an incredible service, like such a valuable offering, that they want to stay around in your world. They want to come back, and it's repeat business over and over again, and they tell all your friends about you. And that's the kind of business that I've been growing like for the last 2.5 years. The people who are with me now are with me since the very beginning. And that's such a beautiful way to grow a business, because you've got this longevity with people. You get to be part of their journey. It's so much more sustainable factory, I think, at the end of the day. Like what you're talking about there, the media and all them talking about going viral and growing and being visible and bringing all these million views. It's just far nicer to think about bringing in a small cohort of people and actually delivering enormous value and nurturing them and keeping them there over time.
So what advice would you give to someone who's listening in here? What steps would you get them to follow if they want to create recurring revenue in their business by growing a community?
If they want to create recurring revenue, so that's obviously been in terms of my business model that I have inside my business, the main part of it, the heart of it, is my community membership. And I am so grateful that I got in on this at the very beginning. I created my membership off the back of learning that. And since then, I have invested heavily in like high-level mentorship. My top 3 tips in answer to your question for how to do this, because it has been... And so what I would say is, number 1, know exactly who your person is. Make sure that your core values and the heart of what your community membership is all about is very clear, so that the people who are all coming together in the same space all have this beautiful golden thread that runs through us all, and we all have this common set of values that we come together and connect over. Number 2, I would say have a really crystal clear onboarding system, so that when people are joining your membership, they know exactly what it is that they need to do next. Create a really seamless onboarding system so they know exactly how to get the best out of the membership from the very beginning. And the third thing I would say, top tip for your recurring revenue membership, would be the deliverables that you create inside there. So intentional design is really important for a membership. You have to create something that's low of energy for yourself as a business owner, but high in value as the person who's actually receiving it and learning from it. Being very careful about how you curate your deliverables inside your membership. A lot of people go and say, oh, I'm going to jump on a Zoom every single week and do Q&As or do coaching calls or do this, that and the other. And it ends up being super time consuming for yourself. And what you want to do is get a nice balance of low energy input from you, but get high value from your people.
That sounds really interesting. And so tell me, in terms of social media then, where do you like to hang out and what tactics are you using right now that's working well for you?
I mainly hang out on Instagram. I use repurpose.ie, is it, to repurpose everything and throw it in TikTok and throw it in LinkedIn, but I'm not over there at all. I do want to get into LinkedIn more, mainly hanging out on Instagram, and I have Facebook. I have all the different things going. Instagram is where I'm hanging out, and I think what's working really well at the moment is storytelling. Storytelling, having a strong hook to capture people's attention, get people interested in what it is you're talking about, having your story there, and then having a clear end and a call to action for how it is that they can find out more about you or what it is that you're offering.
Brilliant. And what are you seeing that's working right now that maybe is new or wasn't working? Maybe it's an emerging trend or anything like that, apart from storytelling?
Gosh, I'd be more inclined to be able to tell you all the things that aren't working. I see now every day aren't working because it's just an experimental game, isn't it? It's all just trial and error of what you can put out there. But for me, that's what I've been doing recently, is the storytelling side of things. Like, I was doing a lot of lives. I feel like lives aren't working as well anymore. It goes through different phases, because I say lives aren't working, but then there is a hunger out there for long form content as well, isn't there? Whether it's the case of video or the emails. What I tend to use Instagram mainly for is getting people onto an email list, and that's what I support and help people to actually build. So Instagram is tiny part of my content strategy. Like I said, it is the kind of nurturing space, and where I show up and show a bit of me and share my message and share how I can help people, showcase case studies of other women in my community, of how far they've grown, brave, bold actions they've taken. And so these things all take part of your content marketing strategy. But for me, the main thing to use Instagram for is to get people onto your email list and to communicate with them there. And that's what works really well for me.
I'm so glad that you talked about growing your email list, because you don't own your Instagram account. You could lose it at any time. They could just ban you or not like you or just get a glitch, and it happens all the time. Don't ever depend on it. But like, the ads on Instagram are really good as well. I always say the ads on Facebook running across the Instagram are actually better. The Facebook algorithm is more powerful than the Instagram one. So yeah, that's something to definitely look at. If your organic's not working, especially if it's something sales related, just put some money behind it and just run the right types of ads. And then afterwards you can just figure out what the return on investment. Brilliant. Okay. So how do people find out more about you then, Lorna? Where's the best place to find you hanging out? Or with the best account name?
The account name on Instagram, my community network name is called the Mum Boss Network, and my own personal page is It's Lorna Lyons.
Oh, very good. Look, thanks so much for coming on. I think it's absolutely fascinating, like audience growth beyond vanity metrics and creating your recurring revenue in your business. That is actually where it is at. And if people focus more on on achieving that rather than this vanity metrics of likes and followers, and I think everybody would be a lot happier in themselves and in their businesses, and they'd have a lot more money in their bank account. You have a free gift for everybody. Do you want to tell us about that? It's a toolkit for creating a recurring revenue in your membership.
Oh, very good. I have lots of different gifts, Louise, that I give out to people at different times. I do, absolutely. I have a great toolkit. If you are looking to get started, if a community membership is something that you want to get started with, I have a fantastic toolkit devised out for people, which will give you all the deliverables. It's like a checklist of onboarding material that you need for people who are getting started or getting people into your membership. And then there's a whole heap of beautiful marketing prompts, some marketing prompts and supports there that you can lean into when creating your content.
And we'll have a link for that in the show notes for anybody who's listening in or watching on YouTube. So that's where it's all at. It's all about recurring revenue. It's about being true to your own values. It's about growing a community and not depending on vanity metrics. Thanks so much, Lorna. I really appreciate all your advice here today.
Thanks so much for having me here, Louise.
That's it, everyone. That's another episode of the Social Media Takeaway. If you have some feedback, make sure that you tag us on social media. You'll find me under Sell on Social M, or on LinkedIn, you'll find me under Louise McDonald. I'd love to hear your feedback and what you thought about the show. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. And if you know anyone who may be interested, be sure to share the show with them too. Thanks, everyone.